Okay, hi Luke. I'm writing on these. I don't know if you'll watch the video or not. Let me know. But let's just run through what's in this diagram and what's going to help us. So let's run through all these points. What is special about point A? What looks really special about it? What looks special about points C and I think that's B over there? What is special? Which bit do we know about them? We know something about those. What's special about point D on the parabola? It must be a special point, and it probably tells us. Well, it doesn't, but it looks like it's symmetrical about there, so there's something special there. And that's about it. E, we're going to have to work out what this point is at some stage. The length of DE. Okay, well, we are at some stage, but if we know something about D, it'll tell us something about point E. So if we've got one of these values, one of these must be the same as well. So all of those things are going to guide us in terms of how to answer these questions. So coordinates of A, B, and C, you know something about points A, B, and C, therefore you can find the other bit of it. Values of A and Q. So A and Q of the straight line, you will have coordinates for A and for B. What's special about A? Because that's going to give away something about your straight line. And how do you find the gradient? Well, you know how to find gradient. So I'm going to write here that the Q we know helps with our y-intercept, and for A we can look at gradient, and I'm pretty sure you know how to do gradient, m equals etc etc, and you'll get the answer there. Okay, give the equation of the axis of symmetry. Well, my hint to you is to find out the coordinates of D, and once you've got those, it'll be very easy to find out the axis of symmetry. Yeah, that went it quite quickly. So one way is to do is if you got the coordinates of D, then you can find the axis of symmetry. The other way is that if once you find out B and C, this is exactly in the middle of B and C. So if you know these two x values, you can find out the middle of them very easily. Okay, write down the, so that's the line segment DE, because you've got this value and you know this must be the same. Write down the range of f. So f is our parabola. I think we've talked about range. Range is all possible y values. So it's going to be from there going up. That's going to be our range of f. For which values of x is g of x greater than f of x? So g of x is our straight line. So we're saying when is the straight line, when is it above the parabola? And it's only above it in a certain section of this graph. And then for which values of x is f of x times g of x less than 0? So to solve something like this, we'd ask ourselves, well, if we're multiplying two things, so f times g is negative, so I'm going to put that kind of a negative in brackets, then we're definitely not going to have a positive times a positive giving us a negative. But we know that we could have a positive times a negative, or we could have a negative times a positive would give us a negative. So these should actually be equals, I guess, in loose terms. Okay, so when is f of x positive and g of x negative? So look at our graph here and say, when is the parabola, when is it positive? When's the y value positive, but g of x is negative? And then for the next bit, when is f of x negative and g of x positive? So when is the parabola negative? When's the parabola negative and the straight line is positive. You're going to have all of these coordinates already, so it's going to be easy enough to know A, C, B are important points, and that's that one. So give that a go at least now, and then we'll see from there.